This is the first video I've done in a while. The reason I haven't taken quite as many is because through this part is because most of this is mechanical work. And I figure there's plenty of videos on mechanical things, but I will show you where I'm at. We do have the outside painted. Everything has been taken apart, handles off and everything, and getting them put back. Each piece of aluminum shining up before we go back with it. Got to order these seals and put the windows back in still. And got across the front. The little bit of rust damage I talked about in the earlier videos was in this area and in this area. This one was a little worse. But that has been made a metal patch and folded it up, put it in there, and put screws in it, then use fiberglass mat on that. You can see I need to take these off and shine that out. But each thing has been taken apart and cleaned and painted, replaced. But under here was painted white. You can see I pulled out the booster. I've ran all new brake lines, and I got these ready. I just haven't flared the ends yet. All the wiring, I've taken it piece at a time, wherever it comes through the firewall, and rewrapped them, cleaned all the ends, used a little electrical grease. This yellow cord here is an accessory bundle that I've ran to the back, and that will be used for just whatever back in the cab or back in the coach part that we'll need some DC for. Some things like fuel gauge, different things like that. The engine I've pulled out and redone. Still need to replace the distributor cap here, but I will be doing that. But I pulled the engine out, did the valve job on it, all gaskets and seals, oil pump. As far as I can tell, the cylinders looked really good. There wasn't hardly any sludge, virtually no carbon. I mean, the carbon was very thin and on the top of the pistons, but I cleaned all of that up, and apparently this has been really well taken care of. Overhauled the carburetor and got the engine back in. I'm reworking the insulation right now, and I've reworked the heater box and just now getting that put back in. In fact, I can take that board out now. That's stuck in there. And motor works, got the heater core cleaned out, radiator and so forth, new alternator, water pump, timing chain, gears, cam. Here's still a bolt in here from when I set the motor in, need to get out. New vacuum lines. Be putting a new coil pickup, so I wasn't too worried about those wires. But this is where I'm at. Ordered a fuel pump. It came in wrong. That's where that goes, and that's going to be that's a mechanical. I'm going to be taking the mechanical. I'm putting a plate over that, and I'll be having to switch out to electrical. So that's where my wiring bundle comes in. I'll be able to, put a relay and whatever I need, take care of that. But it was a Holly, and I did take the sticker out, stuck that on there, but I guess my next pump, I need to make sure it's a Holly. But had the hood off and painted underneath, did all the repairs, just a little surface rust around the edges, and I cleaned all of that up, and went ahead and used body filler and made the edges clean. And the frame is nearly done. It has taken me a while. There wasn't anything really wrong with it, just brushing it up and undercoating it. Still got a little bit left to go, but it's virtually finished with that. Here's the back of the engine and inside the cab. What I'm doing right now is getting the heater all put back together, and this is I'm doing a double layer insulation. I'm gluing each layer, and then I'm putting this black vinyl over it. It's marine grade vinyl, and this down in here, some of this, the carpet will go right in through here, but I wanted this to look decent in this area, but I've added a little insulation in a few places that didn't have before, and there was a few holes in there, so I covered that over with aluminum tape, and then a little insulation, and then of course there's a piece of trim that goes over that, so you won't even see much of that, but trying to insulate it good. all my wires on the inside. As I'm doing the wires on the inside, I'm color coding them, and then this particular one's brown. On the other end of this wire, I'll just go ahead and show you how I'm doing it. And this isn't so much for me, or is for someone else working on it. I've color coded this brown, so I'm using black on all the wires. And in fact, we can just go ahead and hook this up. This is the resistor, and there. And you can see, like I said, I've color coded all that black. I already cleaned these connectors. Need to hook up my ground, but just working across the dash, and I've put new aluminum here on the side. That's insulation. I've just cleaned it up and rewrapped it with the aluminum. That aluminum I'm using is actually for HVAC. Has fiberglass under it, and we're just using that to clean that up. This piece here, it's a little surface rust on it. I'll probably take it off and paint it. But just working my way across through here with the insulation and the black vinyl. Still have all of this wire here to rework, but I don't really see any problems with it. See some connectors that's been messed with, like this, where they've hooked in for accessories. I'm fixing anything that I find like that as I go, and doing new connectors. All this will be taken apart and rewrapped, and again with the color coding. Orange, that's actually a brake switch, and purple is cruise control, and the brake pedal I've taken off, or gas pedal I've taken off and painted it. As you can see, I still need to do the brake pedal and the emergency brake. You can see the little surface rust there. I'll take that apart and paint it, put it back, probably do a little insulation, aluminum tape. Here's what I'm talking about with the aluminum tape. I'm using aluminum tape over these holes, then coming over with the insulation. And like I said, the insulation is heavier than it was before. This is your, this drives your wipers. It's the motor for your wipers. And it's actually coming along decent. Kind of reworked this piece of insulation, wrapped it. I'll be putting some vinyl over that. Cleaned up this switch. In fact, that could probably go ahead and plug him back too. And I'll rewrap those wires. The dash, I have all out of it. I have the seats at, I ended up deciding I would not do the upholstery myself, at least not the seats and the door panels. So I have them at the upholstery shop. The dash pad and some of this other stuff I will be doing. Kind of got some different ideas on that. Got the transmission out of it, and it's sitting over here on my outside bench. And I'm going to go ahead and put a kit in it. And shouldn't be too hard. I've never really rebuilt one before, but I see lots of great videos on YouTube on the C6 transmission, and have a good manual, so I don't think it'll be too bad. This is the metal here that you might have seen in the other videos. The other side looks perfect. It's nice and shiny once you washed it up. And this is the bottom of the metal, and this goes back on the frame here. And so I'm going to wash this bottom up one more time, get some of the little silicone off, and but I'm going to wash this up and go ahead and lay it back on there, because there's not much else that I need to do from the top down. I think I've about got everything done that I needed to. These old shocks, I've got the bolts out of them, so they'll just come right out. So I don't think it's going to help me that much to keep this top off. So I'm not too far from going ahead and washing this up, putting it back on. I will re-undercoat around the edges just to clean it up. And it looks like when this was built, it looks like I see some white, and I see some blue, and I see some cream color. And I'd imagine the manufacturer just used whatever they had left over from different RVs they were building, and use that for the bottom. And but there's really nothing wrong with the aluminum. A few little places of corrosion here, once I put it on there, I'll be probably using some like a roofing rubberized tape around the edges, but I don't know that it would cause much trouble if I didn't do anything, but that's what I'm going to do. Of course, all the holes will be sealed up. The plumbing and everything will be running back in the same holes. But once I get this on, I can build my wood frame, go ahead and put my platform back on here, and then whenever I'm ready, I can start with the walls going back up. But that'll be about the well, let me go ahead and show you one more thing. This is the auxiliary tank. The tank that came from Ford with the chassis is this one here. And it's really not that bad. Some of the places that you normally see rust is like here where the straps are. And I started to clean that one up. A little bit of rust inside. That thing's only like $120 or something. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that one. This one is really lightweight. But I'm going to go ahead and replace that one. This one, though, is the one that was built by the manufacturer of the motorhome. And you have a pickup tube and you have a vent tube. This here is a universal gas gauge right here. It's a universal float that goes to the gas gauge. And I installed that because it didn't have a gas gauge in it before. So I'll be adding a gas gauge for my auxiliary tank. But this tank is very heavy metal. It's oh, I don't know, maybe 1/8 inch steel. And the inside of it's pretty clean. I'm going to probably do just a little bit more cleaning on it. And I'd ground these areas, and it's rained, so it's kind of rusting back up. I have to grind them again, but I just want to make sure that gets a good ground, because you only have one wire going here to the sensor, and you need a good ground on that for the gauge. So that's pretty much where we're at right now, and I'll give another update when there's something else to see.